Welcome to Yara, the Caribbean island setting for Far Cry 6 that's inspired by all things Cuba. You play as a local guerrilla called Dani Rojas. You can be a man or a woman. But for the first time in Far Cry history, they have a face. You not only see Dani in cutscenes, but you also go into third-person view at friendly camps. Given that Ubisoft took the pain of designing third-person view, I would have loved it if they allowed you to switch between first and third-person view in-game. Of course, that's coming from me as someone who is admittedly biased towards third-person over first-person in video games. And since I'm on the topic of bias, personally I would have loved it if Ubisoft put a bigger emphasis on Spanish voices.
Free elections, free expression, free outcasts. A Yara free of Castillos.
There's too much English here, which is not a thing in Cuba, clearly because the game is designed primarily for English-speaking audiences. There is a Spanish dub option, but it doesn't involve any of the main cast, including Breaking Bad and The Mandalorian's Giancarlo Esposito, who voices the dictator baddie Anton Castillo on Far Cry 6.
For he was El Presidente. Mi papa loved to fish. We would go out on a boat, just like this.
Anton rules Yara with an iron fist. His 300,000 strong armed force controls the land, the skies, and the waters. In the beginning, Dani Rojas just wants to leave Yara for good. But after witnessing Anton's horrors firsthand, Dani joins the revolution movement Libertad, led by a woman called Clara, and with help from Juan Cortez, who can make one guerrilla fight like 1,000, as Clara says. The mission naturally is to overthrow Anton Castillo, but along the way you will have to form alliances with different factions and take out Anton's friends who control various parts of Yara. Far Cry 6 allows you to choose a quiet stealth approach or go all guns blazing. Yes, headshots are headshots as always, but you can approach missions in a variety of ways too. You can take a boat and sneak in from under, you can zipline and swing in from the sides, rappel and climb in from another front, or just drive through the front gates. Far Cry 6 encourages you to scout from high ground before approaching any mission though. Using your phone, you can mark enemies and get a sense of what you're up against. There's a lot of fun to be had along the way. You get to use some crazy weapons and Supremo backpacks, all inspired by Cuba's Resolver way of life. An early mission is scored to the famous revolution song Bella Ciao. No, it's not called that Money Heist song.
Over here.
There's another mission that feels like it belongs in a Bond film, except it would be perfect if it took place at night. For some extra fun, you get a pet amigo that you can take with you everywhere. There's an alligator, dogs, and even a rooster. They will help you in combat by attacking or distracting. This also decides the whole stealth or all-out loud approach. During missions and outside of them, you can travel from point A to point B in all manners of ways. There are grapple and zipline points across Yara. Alternatively, you can jump from a height and parachute or wingsuit. Horses are back in Far Cry. Of course, there are vehicles as well, and you have everything you might expect in that department: cars, tanks, boats, helicopters, and planes. There's a bunch of side activities too, from fishing to racing. You can even holster your weapon and just roam around Yara if you're not interested in conflict. Although that won't work if you get too close to the military, or you have heat on your back, or you venture into a restricted area. Even better, you can do all of this with a friend. Like previous entries, Far Cry 6 supports co-op across the entirety of its campaign. I wish Ubisoft also provided this opportunity with its other major franchises like Assassin's Creed and Watch Dogs. Every game is more fun with friends, naturally. You get support during missions, but you can also just have a good time around Yara. In a car, one can drive and the other can handle the turret, jump into a helicopter with one person flying and controlling missiles and the other as a gunner, or heck, you can even get into a motorbike with a sidecar and have your own Cholet moment in Far Cry 6. Ubisoft does tend to make the same games over and over though. Far Cry 6 has checkpoints to capture. Once you do, there will be a storeroom where you can open a bunch of boxes and get loot. The amigos and the scouting on the other hand are reminiscent of Watch Dogs Legion to me. There are also other annoyances. In certain areas, enemies respawn the moment you walk a few feet away. It's impossible to clear the area for good. But all that said and done, Far Cry 6 is still a fun experience made richer by the mere fact that it has support for co-op. Speaking of, my friend's on the phone. It's time to head back into Yara. Thank you for watching. For more gaming news and reviews, follow us on Facebook, Twitter and Instagram at Gadgets360.